All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Taiko World Cup 2026 group stage. We've got a Group A matchup for you here: high seed versus low seed, but that's a little deceptive. It's Norway versus Vietnam. I'm over to Hedge 2015. Going to be joined by someone who you probably know, but maybe not so much as a caster. It's Sparks. Hey there.
Hello, I was invited as a guest. You might know me as one of the featured artists that this wonderful game has. I've made a custom song for TWC before actually, which was also used in a couple other World Cups, but yeah, other than that, also just player for Team New Zealand. Yeah, I'm looking forward to calming this match with you.
Yeah, it should be fun. The match should be fun as well. I believe Vietnam. I can't remember how their match against Hong Kong went yesterday. I believe they just took Hong Kong to the limit, but eventually lost on tiebreaker. I will check. Okay, Norway have already played Hong Kong and won 5-2. And Vietnam actually also beat Hong Kong, so this is for a 2-0 finish in the group, despite being high seed versus low.
Spicy.
Yeah, this should be fun. Both teams put up really good scores in their prior matches. Looks like Vietnam win the roll. Norway ban Nomad 2. Vietnam ban Hidden 1. And they are going to pick first. So the two teams, both pretty heavy on rank restricted tournament players. This whole group actually pretty heavy on those. You've also got a couple in the mid-seed Hong Kong who've already played their matches. Norway going to be led, I think, mostly this round by Vandelicious and Tien, who you might know as Defectum. And Vietnam kind of have more player changes going on, but their star player for a run like this has got to be Buttermilk. Hidden SS player, and any SS player on a group's pool is a scary force.
Yeah, that's the main Vietnam player I know. Their Hidden is very scary. But they did ban Hidden 1, so maybe a second player syndrome?
Maybe. And Nomad 3 going to be the first pick from Vietnam. It's Doremi Go. This map is basically speed Nomad, but the patterns are hard.
A lot of these colors are very deceptively difficult to read.
Yeah. It's probably one of the harder maps in the pool to FC just because it's so easy to misread something and think, well, he wouldn't pattern it like that, right? No, yeah, he would. And he did, and you just missed, and your team lost the point. That's the thing with this pool as well. If you miss, you're probably just going to lose. So this is an FC battle pool between basically any pair of teams in the tournament, with the exception maybe of the very bottom couple of qualifying teams.
Yeah, it's brutal. It feels like you're playing Japan on like every matchup.
Yeah. You'll be playing NL and it's like, well, they're C23, why are they double SSing everything?
What can you do?
Part of it is just that this year's edition is very stacked, but also they definitely undershot the pool, I think, compared to the skill level of most teams. In any case, Vendel and Petter going to be in for Norway. This lineup makes sense. Both very good full alt speed players. And Cocotan and Azur in for Vietnam. I don't know much about either of these players, but I remember they both did pretty well on their specialist picks against Hong Kong. Looks like Azur going to be single tapping this. The only one in the lobby doing so. So maybe a player to watch out for. Single tapping BPMs as high as 270 can really put a drain on your stamina.
That's huge respect points.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
And as we say that, you're gonna find a miss. Maybe it's just an isolated thing, but you gotta hope
very clean though.
Yeah, the nerves might be playing a factor. You gotta have so much control over exactly what your hand and your individual fingers are doing to single tap a VPM this fast without just exploding under nerves. A couple early 100s from everyone, but it is that miss from Azur making all the difference right now as we get into the first Ki, and this is where the weirdness really comes in. It looks normal, but just trust us, it feels quite strange to play all of this.
Holding steady though, so far.
Yeah, I think everyone SS that Ki, and I think this is the real hard part of the map. This bridge with the guitar, all these DKK patterns, so many
That
cats,
cat.
and gonna catch Vendel. And the window opens just a little bit for Vietnam. The lead's still in Norway's favor, but it is gonna shrink as Vietnam have that combo advantage. Both players at the combo score cap of 400.
Accuracy also virtually tied.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be enough here. Should the axe stay the same, but it is closing in. Vendel already halfway back up to that combo cap though. Once Vendel is at 400 combo, both teams are getting the same score per note.
It's down to 4K.
Yeah, it's closing in. It might just be who performs better on this last Ki. The ending, no slouch either. A couple bits of weirdness in there.
This ending feels like it goes on forever though.
Yeah, just double the length of a short Ki and suddenly it feels an hour long. Everyone hitting it still. 5K score difference into the outro, but Azur gonna find another break. Such a clean play, especially for single tap, but I mean, all it takes is one missed note on a pull like this. Better and Coco10 still bringing up the SEs. Coco10, by the way, is on like 2 100s. Player I've never heard of, just destroying the most inconsistent speedo mod I've seen in a while. Yeah, 200 FC, great play, but it's not quite gonna be enough as Azur's misses are going to sink Vietnam to a lost break point in map 1. Actually, Steam 100 cuts on both sides, and 2 and 10 each as well, so without the misses, that probably would have been a tie, but not to be.
Yeah, super close still though.
Oh yeah. It's the nature of this poll. You expect every map to be very close, and usually you're right.
Oh, well, this one might be a little different. FM2.
Yeah, this
Big reading challenge.
Yeah, one of the harder maps in the poll just to FC if you're going HDHR on it. And on a poll like this, it kind of feels like you have to HDHR everything to win. We've seen tons of EAT mod, even on the anti-mod, not something you see so often. The second half of this map is where it really picks up. The intro is really mean, and people will hit 100s on it, because the song and the map just start at the same time, and it's really hard to time it up. But really, the meat of this map is in the second half.
Yeah, I don't even know how high the SV goes there, but it's pretty high.
Yeah, I think there's a sustained section of, if I had to guess, it feels like 240 BPM SV or something. And of course the BPM's a bit lower, so you don't have to worry about tapping 240, but just reading it with hidden hard rock is quite hard. Vendel, though, definitely going to be in for this. Expert HDHR player, can play 240 BPM HDHR, let alone just the SV. Couple spikes go a little faster than that, but I think he'll be able to handle them. And is this a job for Coco10 and Azur again? And no
I would
buttermilk?
have expected buttermilk on this, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not sure how good Buttermilk is at HDHR, but I feel like surely one of the best players on the team at it.
The high SV might be a little too much.
Maybe so. Even then, I'd expect them to be a very stable 1 mod, but it looks like this may be what Vietnam is going with, and Tien is coming in for Petter. Petter, kind of the mechanics specialist on Norway, 2-digit player, could probably DT everything in this pool. Like, I have seen a screenshot of him FCing DT2, but instead of 1.5 RIAT, he FC'd it at 2.3 times RIAT, so like 380 BPM. So that's fun. You can just do things
Double
like that.
time.
Yeah. Very, very fast player, and showed with his FC on No Mod 3, but gonna be out for the more well-rounded, generally, Defectum here.
And his scores on all of these maps are probably also really good. It's just,
oh yeah,
you need that act.
Yes. Yeah, Defectum, long-time rank-restricted tournament veteran. He's got like 3 badges just from 4-digit tournaments. Sometimes he cuts his rank in half to participate in another one. Usually he's just decaying for years at a time while still getting better at the game. Coco10 and Azur on Hard Rock only, so a 2-mod advantage here for Norway. Vendel gonna catch the intro.
An uphill battle.
Oh yeah. 120,000 extra score available to Norway here. No SSs on the board after the intro. Worth mentioning, 4 mod, if you're coming from standard, you might be thinking, why on earth are Norway 4 modding this? Essentially, if you miss in taiko, it has a much smaller impact on your score, especially in score v2. So you can afford to put on an extra mod even if it means you're more likely to miss. Like, it's not a death wish kind of thing. On a map this short though, missing can legitimately cost you 50,000 score because every note just counts for so much. So it is riskier than usual here, but still the choice most teams are going with. Vendel gonna find a miss, but Azure has already missed, and besides, the 2 mod advantage just does so much work.
That was a pretty late miss for Vendel though, so that's going to be a huge score tank. But another miss from Azure.
Oh, I didn't even notice that, yeah. So...
And that's right in the middle, so that's going to hurt.
The map essentially is about to begin for real. Nothing that's happened so far has really been all that hard except to avoid 100s on, but this is where the map begins. Azure with another break, maybe a bit nervous. These finishers come in kind of fast, but they're nothing too crazy. You know the rhythm after the first set of them. And here's something a little tricky. That is a 1/6 quad at light speed. Everyone catches it. Everyone getting through the finishers just fine. Here's a really difficult stream. The SV on this gets so high, everyone hits it with that hard rock enabled. And now we get into the Ki.
This part's a little more chill. Especially with everyone playing with hard rock.
Yeah, I imagine this is kind of the anti-hidden part if you're playing hidden only, but ESGHR, it's kind of easy. Norway with a massive lead coming into the anti-hard rock part, and you can tell why. Yeah, for HDHR, this is honestly the hardest part of the map. It's not the finishers, it's not even the speed upstream, it's this. Just, it's so fast for so long.
Yeah.
Is there with another
Especially
break?
that last stream.
Yeah, Norway's act looking impeccable right now. Vendel just decides I can't be bothered on the final stream, which to be fair has some very mean patterns. Defectum and Kokateng gonna lose their FCs as well. Azure, I think, was the only person in the end that actually hit that final stream, but with Vietnam's mods, it would have taken legitimately 1/100 combined double FC to beat those two HDHR scores. Brilliant work from Norway, especially from Tien, and Vendel's 100 kind as well. Wow. That last
very
stream
good
was so
pick.
Yeah, solid stuff. So back to Vietnam, and if they want to win the group, it feels like the next one is kind of a must-win for them. Going down 2 break points against a team this strong sounds like big trouble.
Maybe it fuels them. Maybe they'll get a bit of motivation.
And yeah, Azure says, I can't see anything. The fast HR experience strikes again. That's always the worst. When something is maybe just outside your comfort zone, you can do it in solo, but then you try to do it in a tournament in like a one-try environment, and it's like, I'm a little bit too nervous, and suddenly I can't see anything.
You just blink once, you get speed blitzed.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this made so much sense in practice, why can't I do it now? It's the classic reading thing. Something is just a little too hard. Hard Rock 1 actually going to be the pick from Vietnam. Kind of makes sense. I mean, it seems like their current roster is more comfortable on HR if that's the mod combo they were going with on the anti-mod. So it's going to be point. It's not very hard to act.
It's also a little slower, so gonna be easier to read in that regard.
Yeah, I think it might be the lowest BPM map in the full. No, well, no mod 2 exists, but it's like, it feels like 10 different BPMs. This is just 155, and that's part of the difficulty, honestly, is that it's only 155. Very easy to rush a little bit on this map, tap maybe 160 BPM, and then suddenly hit a couple 100s before you know it. Vendel appears to be out of the lobby, maybe just checking offset.
Yeah, something you said that I notice sometimes when playing is like you usually play like these like more clean BPM numbers like 160 or 170, so you're really used to getting the act down for those rhythms. So then sometimes when it's even like 155 or somewhere in between, it's like there's that slight adjustment you have to make.
Yeah. the ending as well. Kind of tricky with some 1-6 doublets, not something you see very often. People are, speaking of being used to things, people are more used to 1-8 doublets, like the kind you used to see in all the maps like Ether Ritual, stuff like that, and still more common to this day. So you might think, oh, it's a fast doublet, I've got to hit 1-8, and then you hit it a bit too fast, and you've hit a 100 in the second note, stuff like that. You can approximate it, but you have to know what you're doing. A lot of places. I wouldn't even say this map is hard to act. I'd say it's easy to lose act on. There's kind of there's a difference in my head, and this is the latter.
The map even has both 1-6 and 1-8 doublets just to be extra mean.
Yeah, that's true. Just hit them both with 1-7. What could go wrong?
Average it out.
Right? I feel like that is actually what I do in matches, and I mean, it worked for me. I think I'm the only SS on this week.
It's what I do on most tech picks.
It's just like, it's all spicy 1-4. It tends to work, but what's working right now is whatever Norway are doing. I think 3 combined 100s through this intro, and the intro of this, very offbeat heavy. Nothing weird snap-wise, but just a lot of 3-4, stuff like that. Tricky to act. They both get through it just fine.
Speaking of tricky to act, this part, for some reason, is just impossible.
I feel like you could actually say that about almost any part of this map. You can actually just hit 100s anywhere in this. Better on 100 right now. Pretty impressive stuff. And just a couple percent entirely ahead of Vietnam right now. Or, okay, no, I thought Kokoten was at 99.9 per second there, tied with Better, but no. I'm just breaking the 99% barrier right now. And this could still change things. This map is kind of short, and so similarly to FM2, if you miss somewhere near the middle, you are losing a lot of score all at once. But the middle of the map's come and gone. This is the part that kills SSs. This is the slow part.
Yeah, I think this is what part I was thinking of.
What snap is this? Because I have no idea.
It can't be like 1/6 or 1/3. It's somewhere in between.
I think it's 1-3, but I'm not sure. If you just came up with some esoteric fraction and told me it's that, I would honestly believe you. But all players gonna FC through that section. The outro comes in now with a lot of offhand.
Part here.
Yeah, a lot of offhand 1/6. Still nothing too crazy tech-wise, but THR on its own helps make it harder to hack. And what is Patter doing? That's a 1/100 FC pending the outro, which it's simple enough. Wow, 1/100 on that is brutal. That's one way to take a point, and Vendel not far behind, 4 on his side. Kokoten looking pretty good with a 99 FC on one of the hardest maps to act in the pool, but there's nothing you can do against that from Norway. 4 FCs, but 2 of them are much stronger than the others. So, 3-0 lead for Norway with a second straight breakpoint. And they are going to pick free mod 1, continuing the EHDHR abuse, possibly. It's going to be Super Hit and Travel Hex.
This one much easier to read than the other free mod. There might be an 8 mod coming up here.
I think so. I can only think of one team that hasn't 4-modded this so far. I feel bad just like naming who it is, because then it just feels like I'm flaming, but yeah, almost everyone has been 4-modding this. Just putting on all the HDHRs, because this map is on the simple side. It's a 4.9 star Inneroni. It's essentially just a normal Inneroni. Not much SV2 either. There is a little that adds a little bit of difficulty, but nothing that makes it really hard to mod at all.
I guess for this pool it is on the slightly longer side, so you just gotta keep up the focus until the end.
Yeah, that's true. This is a very short map pool. Besides the tiebreaker, not a single map above 3 minutes, I believe it was. So, not all that much time to recover from any mistakes, which just makes the FC or die, sometimes SS or die factor feel a lot more intense. And it looks like Tien is back in the place of
Still
Tattoo.
no buttermilk.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we have seen player swaps. I believe Creeper Brian came in on HR1, but besides that, it has been all Kokotan and Azure. They've been doing a good job, but against this kind of scores that Norway have been putting up, there's not much you can really do, and it's gonna be 2 mods from Vietnam again. HR only on both players. And on a map like this, it almost feels like as soon as the mods have come up, we've seen which way the map is gonna go.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lockup or 2 from Norway at the very least. This map also not on the long side, so misses still do a lot to your score, but yeah, even if Vietnam double SS this, which is already off the table, they are going to need mistakes from Norway, who are the masters of their own fate here. They hold all the cards with that double HDHR. Everyone got through the intro just fine, which is honestly the hardest part of the map to act, just because, like FM2, even though you're playing HDHR, the song and map start at the same time. You can't see the first note, so good luck timing it. Vendel, with no trouble though, is still on that HDHR SS.
Huge act drop from Azure, going down to 97 on that stream.
Yeah, not gonna help Vietnam's case, but the top row looking super solid here. Double SS from Vendel and Kokotan right now. Tien not far behind with a 99 HDHR FC cooking. And the first KI comes to an end. And we still have an HDHR max score from Vendelicious.
He is cooking.
Could be one of the scores of the week here. I believe he has been on every map for Norway so far, and besides Nomad 3, it has been all FCs. The SS does fall.
There it goes.
But it's always the slow parts. You can add HR to your hidden, but it's still always the slow parts. Density picks back up a bit. Might actually get easier for people to act as you kind of just get into a rhythm of tapping more often. Not having to worry about how long the gap to the next note is, because it's just kind of obvious. You see things in patterns. Some shorter streams coming up here. And as we get into the final KI, which is a bit long, everyone is still on that FC. Vendel's still on that 1/100 HDHR.
Nothing too difficult left, so it's looking like Norway's just going to close this one out.
Yeah, looking imperious here. I think it's the intro and the 2 build-ups that are the hardest part of this map. The KIs just feel so comfortable to play. It's a very nice map, but with the strength of teams in this tournament, it's kind of hard to separate them with something like this. Sometimes it does come down to RNG, sometimes though it does come down to which team is better at HDHR, and it definitely looks like that team is Norway. Vendel hits a third 100 of the entire map. Jan is also on 99.6. Crazy team score from Norway. 2.23 out of a possible 2.24 million points. 12 combined 100s on double HDHR.
Super strong.
Yeah. Strong scores from everyone. I mean, 499 FCs, whether the map is easy for TWC or not, it's not often you see that. Kokotan especially with a 2/100 HR. But Norway totally in the driver's seat right now. The only way this could get any more pleasant for them is if they got to pick their first match point, but that is going to be Vietnam's privilege. And at this point, if you're Vietnam, what do you do? Because I feel like if Buttermilk hasn't played yet, it's safe to assume Buttermilk isn't here, and DT2 is going to be the pick. Alright.
I think that makes sense. Just trying to, like, hope for a slip up from Norway.
Yeah. And it feels like at this point, all you can do against this team is get your 2 high act FCs up and hope to out RNG them, but Norway have been missing so little.
The classic Japan strategy.
Every strong team is Japan, like you said. It's actually the same experience. Well, if they make a mistake, then we win the point, but if we don't, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
And, ooh, Vendel dipping. Probably just to check offset. He has done this before in the same match.
I could see Peter coming in for this one.
That's true, actually. Petter, Defectum, really any any two of Petter, Defectum, and Vendel could have a chance at team max scoring this. I mean, Norway is one of those teams with speed accuracy that I think could really do something like that. And this could be fireworks here to close out the group from Norway. And yeah, Tian asking the question probably on a lot of people's minds right now. If you're playing a match with winning the grip on the line and you've already got one upset, why no buttermilk? But to be fair, Norway have been playing so well in this match, I'm not sure that much difference can be made. Looks like it's going to be the same lineup again, Vendel Tian versus Kokoten Azure. So the same as Free Mod 1.
Those two did put up a very good score on that No Mod Fury at the start.
That's true. I think slightly different skill set here. It's a lot less about being comfortable at the BPM. You don't have to be that comfortable at 250 to play this map because it's so short and not very dense. It's more just keeping your accuracy up. Shortest map in the pool. After DT, it is only a minute 26. We're essentially playing a TV size map here. Well, except Kokoten, who wants to play Free Mod 1 again, it appears.
Run it back.
We've convinced him to play DT2. I wouldn't want to play a fast DT either if I was given the option, but sometimes you gotta do these things.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. As we get into DT2 here.
Going in Azure with a rough start on the hack.
Against a lineup like what Norway have right now, that might honestly be the game, but we'll see. 100 from Chen, but treated out by a 100 per player from Vietnam, and it looks like there is already a comfort difference here. Vendel the only SS remaining, and he could quite easily do this. I think fast DT hack is one of Vendel's signature skills, along with probably that HDHR that I've been talking about.
Yeah, Azure does seem to have stabilized.
Yeah, but might be too late. Both players on Vietnam's side tied with the lower accuracy player from Norway in Tien, who does hit another one.
A little close.
Yeah, Vendel just holding down the fort to absolute perfection right now. As the Ki comes in, he's still holding on to that SS. Are we about to SS a double time pick to end the group? Wait. Yeah, Chin with a miss actually, and the SS might not be enough. Because the hard part is coming to an end. There's almost no 1-4 left after this right here. And it looks like Vietnam might stave off the sweep despite Vendel's SS.
That's exactly what Vietnam was hoping for, I think.
Sometimes it just takes someone on the other team getting bad RNG, and that certainly looks like a low roll for Defectum. Vendel in the unfortunate position of maxing a map and losing, as the double FC on its own is enough for Vietnam to claim a point against the top seed in their group. And Norway, now I got to pick. Crazy SS from Vendel there. I know he just does this all the time, but when you're only given one try, SSing literally anything on DT is just impressive.
Yeah, doing it in match is so much different. Like, the first note is already so scary.
Oh, every time, yeah. But it feels like Norway with plenty of options here might want to go to DT1 or something. I think DT1 would be a heavily advantage map for them, yeah. Oh, but it's going to be Hard Rock 2. I feel like this is probably, well, No Mod 1's there, but besides No Mod 1, maybe along with it, I'd say this is the most coin flippy, like, SS battling map left in the pool for most teams.
Yeah,
Hidden 2 can also be there depending on who you've got, but I don't think this is one of those matches where Hidden 2 is an SS battle.
Yeah, I kind of would have expected them to pick Hidden 2, actually.
Yeah, I mean, with the players that Vietnam have fielded so far in this match, it feels like an obvious one, but at this point maybe they're thinking we want to play Hard Rock 2, we're confident we've got this in the bag. Sometimes you get to thinking like that with a big lead. Yeah, it's true. And oh, random name IDK being mentioned. The very high ranked player in the Vietnam team, strong on the mechanics front, and HR, especially fast HR, is always related to that mechanical skill. So maybe about to come in and show us what he's got against the pairing of Vendel and Tien, both very strong hard rock players. I don't know. They might be playing against a team max score here. I've said that a few times and it's not happened yet, but it really might be about to.
On this map it's pretty likely, but they could also do a repeat of the last map.
Yeah, I mean, any note is missable as long as you're human. Your brain can fart on any note of any song. Here we go into Hard Rock 2.
Is anyone gonna drop Akon to start? No.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of time. I feel like that first 1, 2, 5 flip, it shouldn't feel hard, but it's the scariest thing in the map by a lot. It's always the first notes in tournaments. Even if they don't actually get you that much, it just always feels like they're gonna. Everyone okay through the intro? 100 from Tien, 1 from RNIDK, but it appears Vietnam actually with a slim lead here. Okay, yeah, 100 per player now for Norway.
Oh, is this another like 6-point difference?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a similar case to what we had with Netherlands winning a point against Australia by 6. When the teams tie on 100 points, the highest individual score essentially is the one that wins their team the map for reasons we don't have time to explain. But a few more 100s from Arya and IDK mean that Norway are now firmly in the lead, and both of their players might already be feeling, oh god, I hit a 100, we might be losing this now. I think they're going to be locked all the way in for the rest of this one.
Everyone double S's the 1-6.
Yeah, everyone hitting the diff spike of the map. Alright. Somewhat scary little slow part there with some 3-4 rhythms. Hardest rhythm in the map, just whacked in the middle of the slow part, just to make sure you're still on your toes, but the final KI comes in. This is kind of a long one. It'll go until the end of the map here. 1-6 comes in, everyone hits it. Still 100 per player from Norway.
It's got a couple of these like offhanded stream patterns that some players might trip up on, but it's not looking like any of them are gonna be phased by them.
Yeah, as the final finishers come in, it looks like Norway have secured their grip, unless, no, nothing goes wrong at the end. And with a 200 team score, 1-1, Norway secure Group A with a 2-0 record, and I believe a 10-3 map record. Coco 10 worth the shout out as well, tying the Norwegian players with a 1-100 FC. The difference all on RNIDK when, I mean, this is one of those polls where a 99.5 FC makes you look like a noob, even though it's a perfectly good score.
Yeah, valiant effort though.
Yeah, good plays all around. Vietnam, of course, still gonna finish second in their group despite seed 26, as they did beat the mid-seed Hong Kong. They will be moving on to face the last place team of Group H in lower bracket round 1 next weekend. Norway move on to the winners bracket round of 16, where they will face seed 8, which I believe is Taiwan, based on the fact that by average qualifiers performance, Group A was the strongest. Yeah, Norway versus Taiwan. If they don't make the poll quite a lot harder, that could be very interesting, because both those teams have very strong accuracy.
Yeah, and Taiwan also an 8th seed to not be underestimated at all.
Yeah, you know this tournament is very, very stacked when the country with, I think, the most TWC second places ever by a solid couple is seeding 8th with a roster that doesn't look weak for them at all. But that is the end of our match for now. Norway beats Vietnam 5-1 to clinch Group A. Our next match is going to be Indonesia versus the Philippines, which is, which group is that? I should know this. That's
Group group.
Yeah, that's Group E. Group B. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. Both teams played yesterday. They both played Malaysia, the 9th seed, highest seed team to play groups. Indonesia actually beat Malaysia. I think it was 5-2. And Philippines lost 5-2, but a seed 25, taking 2 points off a team that did that well in qualifiers, that's a run for your money. That's pretty good. So both performed very well yesterday. Also seed 24 versus 25 overall, so that could be an interesting one. You want to stay tuned for that.
And I think in all of those matches, like, none of the points were close. All of the points were close.
Yeah, it's been the classic this weekend. Everything is always close. Nothing is safe. We will also have on the B stream Portugal versus Poland from Group C to determine who gets second in that group. Both of those matches are in about 25 minutes at 16 UTC. But that's us done for now. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you.